my time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to ride me, oh, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Pay attention, I'm on a mission, and then with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen, ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to ride me, oh, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who try to ride me, oh, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We coming ready or not, you better steady yourself, because we're raising some hell. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like in New York, we're electric, never stop. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We're giving all that we got, we're giving all that we got. We coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the stratosphere getting high. We're
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome to the all-new RaceOnTexas.com podcast. We've got a really cool podcast set up for you, 30-minute episodes. We're going to talk to promoters, drivers, anybody and everybody involved in local racing, and we're going to ask some cool questions. You can listen at any of the major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts. Or you can watch the video of the podcast, including our guests, on RaceOnTexas.com's platform, including the iOS and Roku apps. Also coming soon to Apple TV, Android, and Fire TV. The podcast is going to be fun. It's going to be loose. We're going to ask some tough questions. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow us on all the major podcast platforms. You're not going to want to miss this. It's the RaceOnTexas.com podcast.
Welcome to the Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Night. Of course, the American-Canadian Tour presents coverage of All-Star race coverage. Two big races, the Open, the All-Star race, 3 segments each, a lot of special formats and ways that all of this will play out. We're glad you're here with us. Good evening, iRacing on LSRTV. I'm Wesley Outland. Brockton Packard is alongside. It's been a while, Brockton. All-Star night, though. This is going to be a fun time for the super late models of the Maine Sim Racing Series, my friend.
Yeah, Wesley, it's good to be back after a couple weeks hiatus. We had our prelude to the All-Star race, and I'm finally back full-time. I hung up the racing suit. We're not doing that again. That was fun, but I'm focused forward here. I'm focused. We're going to be able to talk to each other and not me tell you to let me race. We're going to be able to have fun tonight. It's a fun race. We're going to have some guys fighting it out in a very special track, Wesley.
And a track that means so much to me, and it's so amazing that to this day, thanks to iRacing and the simulation that is iRacing, you can be able to make your own history at the Concord Motorsports Park. As a kid, I remember even before becoming a broadcaster, going to Concord, sitting in the grandstands with my mom and dad, checking out the Big Ten Super Late Model Series, watching the greats like Freddie Query, Eddie Massengill, Dan Matthews, Big Jim Kelly, just some of the names of the racing world when it used to be really, really excited in the super late model plethora of the world. And then they shut it all down. Copart comes in and they turn it into a car graveyard, if you will. But now, thanks to iRacing, we can still make memories at Concord Motorsports Park. Such a unique triangle half-mile track. It's fun, it's exciting, and I think it's a great place, Brockton, for the Maine Sim Racing Series to have the All-Star race tonight.
Absolutely. I've run Concord a little bit in the iRacing series, mostly a Legends or a street stock track, but I almost think of it as a little brother to Pocono. It drives very similar, very demanding track. All 3 corners are very different to each other, and the straightaways compared to the rest of the track are quite long if you really look at it. So we're going to be seeing a lot of guys trying to fight for that inside. It's very, very important to get a good drive off. But like you said, Wesley, they will be able to write their own history in a new page of Concord.
Hope you enjoy the format. As by the way, look at the new production side of things that is done by Charles Wooten, Jeff Stab, now everybody behind the scenes with Rocket Racing Media and iRacing on LSRTV. But I do want to say this, though, Procton. I love the format. We've got 2 special races, 3 stages each. We're going to right now focus on the Open. 2 20-lap segments, then a 10-lap segment. Top 3 from the first 2 stages will transfer, and then 2 drivers at the conclusion of that final 10-lap stage will make it in to the All-Star race, where there is already 12 drivers by virtue of either wins this year or 2 top 5s are locked in to be in this All-Star race tonight at Concord.
Yeah, this is a very different version of an all-star race than we're used to when we're watching things like NASCAR, where you race your way in. But these guys are the best of the best all season long, and it's time for them to slug it out to see who really is the best of the best. And it's going to be just a fun night, exciting night, lots of racing action, and nobody knows what's going to happen. So we're excited to find out.
The Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Night is ready to go. We go to On Track. We're about ready to introduce the starting lineup for the Open. First, let's take a look at your Kaufman Creative weather conditions. Sunny, 75 degrees, a wind speed at 7 miles an hour, track temp at 83. Very comfortable, Brockton, for iRacing conditions for a virtual real track setting.
Yeah, it's quite nice out, and it kind of reminds me of the weather we had around Concord today. So
it's
a very
beautiful.
calm wind and very good air temperature. The track conditions looking very, very good, and it's going to be grippy, a little bit slippy out of turn 3, but these guys are going to have a great time.
Let's take a look at the format, if you will, for the Open. If you check that out on the bottom left of your monitor, as this is the way it's all going to shake down. Okay, we don't have the format. My apologies. So I'll have to read it. I got you. Understanding, no problem, no big deal. Working behind the scenes, talking to our producer folks. So right now, what I will do is I will tell you how it'll all go down here. Coming up in just a few moments will be the Open. Again, this is for all drivers that have not, after qualifying goes down, which qualifying will be on track here in just a minute, we will have the Open. Now, these are for drivers, again, that have not made it in to the All-Star race as of yet. These are non-locked-in drivers, and they're on the grid. They're going to go to qualifying. Qualifying will get underway, and then that'll line the field up, Brockton Packard, for 3 segments totaling 50 laps. Stage 1 will be 20 laps. Stage 2, 20 laps. Stage segment, it goes hand in hand. And then, of course, as we mentioned when we came on the air, the top 3 at the end of Stage 1 will advance into the All-Star race. Everybody else will reset, reline up, and go again. We'll go again for the resumption of Stage number 2, or Segment 2. We'll take the top 3 in Stage 2 completed, with the top 3 advancing again. There's your 6 drivers. And then finally, there'll be a 10-lap shootout. Winner take all, first and second, that is, will make it in with the other 18 drivers to make it 20 drivers to battle at Concord for the race Open. And then, of course, we'll get back into the league long of the big money on the line for the All-Star race presented by the American Canadian Tour. But we got to get the Open out of the way first.
Yeah, we got to get qualifying out of the way first, Wesley. But these guys are going to be scrapping for everything they can. If you don't think qualifying is going to be an important part of this race, even the Open, Wesley, that's a lot of cars to pass around a very small track. And these late models, they're quite wide in the scheme of everything. So trying to find any way to pass somebody without using the bumper and without tearing your stuff up, that is going to be key. But if you don't want to worry about that, start on pole and walk away from the field for that first segment, and then you get to watch all hell break loose in that last segment. And then go race for the big money.
They will. You're exactly right. Then they'll be the run for the big money. And by the way, there is bonuses up for grabs, including more money and everything else. And by the way, I'm being told we have breaking news. And you know what? Let's just bring in the producer to let us know what the breaking news is, because he's not afraid to chat or chime it up. Charles, what is the breaking news you got for us?
All right, so unfortunately, Concord forgot to pay the electric bill, so they don't have any concession stand work. That they can't sell any food or anything.
Oh, please. Oh, please.
So unfortunately, due to that, we are all packing up and headed over to Hickory real fast.
Wow. Why are we not running Concord?
We told you they forgot to pay an electricity bill.
Are you pulling my chain?
No, we are not pulling your chain. We are going to Hickory.
We are going to Hickory. Well, I guess that means we'll step away and go to a break, and I guess we'll try to find out what's going on here. I guess something happened where they decided not to want to run at Concord.
I'm bringing y'all on camera. That's where we're going.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, we'll go on camera. Charles, what is the reason? What are we hearing behind the scenes of why they want to pull the race at Concord and go to Hickory instead?
Well, the reasoning we're hearing is it was unanimous from the drivers that that was going to be a wreck fest, and nobody wanted it, so they're changing the track.
They don't think Hickory's a wreck fest either?
I guess not. I don't know. I don't race on either one of them, but that is what we're hearing.
Well, we better change up all of our wording then, because I have to say this, and I'm just the broadcaster, but I'm highly disappointed, Brockton Packard, because I was really, really looking forward to seeing a race at Concord. And man up, you sim racing drivers! Come on!
No,
Wesley,
I like Hickory.
I don't agree with Wesley very often, but I am going to have to agree with him on this one. This Concord is a driver's track, and it takes a lot of talent and a lot of strategy to drive it well. And it's a tough call, but at the end of the night, they have to do what's best for them. But I think it would have been a great race at Concord. But Hickory's a good track too. It's a little less special and unique, but it's still a very historic track and a very well-known track. So hopefully they'll be able to put on a good show. But I mean, Wesley, if it becomes a wreck fest at Hickory, we know what to tell them.
I'm going to tell you 4 words. I told you so.
No,
Great lyrics to a song by Randy Travis. And
no, Wesley, you do got to remember it's a fixed setup. So I would imagine it's probably not a custom fix. They probably just use the fixed one from iRacing. And if it's not working properly, that could factor into it as well. You don't have that ability to adapt as much with a fixed setup. So again, we'll confirm. I bet you though it was an iRacing fixed setup, and we watched them in practice. We tore up a lot of cars, and the fans got sheet metal after practice. So I'm thinking that's probably the reasoning behind it. Poor fans don't get no sheet metal anymore, but hey, we like Hickory too. So
we're going to Hickory. So I think that's what we're going to plan to do. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're on track at Hickory. We're already here.
Well, so,
we literally just drove an hour and 25 minutes up I-77 in a heartbeat.
So before I go back to my producing job, I don't know if anybody ever played that game Portal, where you can just go from one place to the other. Well, that's what just happened here on iRacing. We portaled from one track to the other.
Talking about like Star Trek, where you have that little, the little going to the beam.
No,
beam me up, Scotty.
That's hyperdrive. That's teleporting. We just ported.
We didn't tell him. We just ported. Something like that. Well, we got cars on the racetrack, so it looks like they're giving them an extra shakedown session on track. You look at Stephen Allen Jr. and Paulison go at it, or David Greenleaf. Wrong series. Northwest. Oh, by the way, Northwest Racing Series. Brockton fires up next Monday night, qualifying night, and the duels and the trucks are on Monday night now, my friend.
Yeah, you guys are going to be real busy when that starts back up, but I'm excited to have those guys back on LSRTV. I'm excited to watch some of those broadcasts. It's a little late over on the East Coast side, but I always enjoy a good Northwest Cup and Truck Series. Look out, we got the 00 climbing the wall and into the fence. Oh, dear.
Well, I will just tell you this. I am an East Coast guy, just like you are. Hello, you're in Charlotte. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, or just outside of Raleigh. And every week for 4 years now, I have made it a point to stay up all night long. Oh, okay, like Lionel Richie, baby, and do the Northwest Racing Series broadcast. And oh, look at this one. And looking forward is Brian Treadwell wrecked. So does Tyler Jordan. And you don't think wrecking at Hickory was different than Concord? I rest my case.
Yeah, only time will tell. I know a lot of drivers push it to the absolute limits when they run practice, but I only time will tell, I suppose.
Well, anyhow, what I was trying to say was I enjoy doing the Northwest Racing Series. Looking forward to a new year. Got a new format too. I mean, I know we've got what look at these guys. I mean, come on. Where are we going to end up next? In Indianapolis again?
Oh dear.
That was Merrill's car in the pits. By the way, I'm trying to think. Weren't we at Hickory for the race last week or 2 weeks ago?
All right,
Charles Wood with more breaking news behind the scenes. What you got for us, brother?
All right, we got the word not enough cars for the Open, so we are scratching the Open. It is now the closed. We're not doing it. So we are going to advance everybody to the main event for 75 laps, was what I was told from race control as that car decides to flip. That being said, they are doing something different. They are going to qualify. And then after qualifying, and this will kind of throw our grid off a little, so we may not go through the grid as they're taking it. So qualifying is done. When it's done, they will start with first, second, third, fourth, and you get to pick where you want to start based on that. So first, if they want more money, they could start last and work their way through the field, or they can start on pole. It's up to them, and then they'll go from second all the way down.
I got to ask you this question, though. Will the format of elimination still be like it was for the original plan for the All-Star race? Since we're not doing the Open, is it still going to be the elimination of the top five, and end up with 10 cars to race in the end?
No, everyone will make the race.
I know that. What I'm saying, though, is that there was talking about at the end of the stage 1, stage 2, at 20 laps or 30 laps, that the top 5 in the back would be eliminated. Then the other top 5 would be eliminated. Then there would be a pit stop that need to be made, at least stopping at your box. You could take on tires and fuel as an option for the 15-lap segment. So is that format still going to follow as the same? We're asking questions while we're live on the air.
So as a producer, I'm sitting here talking. I will confirm with this, whether I would imagine not, but I will confirm that. Now I'm going back to producing because breaking news segment's over.
Yeah, and if this changes the format, in my opinion, man, that totally messes up the format for the All-Star race. I mean, it's just another race.
The biggest part's just not enough cars. That's the big change into it. Also, as far as caution laps, I did talk to race control. They have lost communication with the flagman, so they don't know if he's going to count caution laps or not. His headset broke.
Damn you, Barney. As practice rolls on, my goodness, my entire night just changed, Brockton. My entire night just changed, brother. I was looking forward to the format and the All-Star race and the segments and the way they're doing it, and they don't think they're not wrecking each other in the funny papers at Hickory like they were at Concord?
I don't know, Wesley. I don't know, but to answer your question that you asked a little bit ago, we were at New Smyrna a couple weeks ago.
New Smyrna Speedway. You're right, New Smyrna Speedway. Well, we're at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway now. By the way, their official racing season will fire up for 2023 with their lid lifter next Saturday afternoon, believe it or not. Pretty cool, Brockton. Racing season in full swing again. And I love the fact that a lot of racetracks are starting up earlier than usual. I like that.
Yeah, the weather's starting to get nice a little earlier. Everybody's able to go out and do some more and race some more. So it's, I love that all of these kind of grassroots racing are coming in early, and I'm excited, man. And I might even make it down to Hickory one of these weekends.
There you go. course, we want to thank the American Canadian Tour for being the proud title sponsor of whatever this turns out to be. Pardon the pun. Of course, the American Canadian Tour is a real super late model series across the Northeast and Canada. Tracks like Oxford Plains up at Beach Ridge, the Milk Bowl, of course, at Thunder Road, Barrie, Vermont, and many others. Big thanks to, again, the ACT Tour, the ACT Tour, the American Canadian Tour, sponsoring this race. I certainly hope, Brockton, we've already changed everything. Dang it, we changed tracks. We're not doing the open like we were going to do with the stages. And I at least hope that what cars are here, that they at least follow the format of trying to do the eliminations for the All-Star race, because I thought the format was really cool.
Yeah, I do too, Wesley. But I will say, when have we ever been disappointed by a race with this series? This series always puts on a good show no matter what happens. And our friends down in the chat, Chris Fortier.
Sure.
Chris
48?
Sorry. Yeah, 48. Yeah, that's the one. Thanks, Wesley. Gave us some insight on how the cars were running at Concord, and it was an iRacing deal. I don't think many people run Concord anymore, especially with the super late models. So it was a little bit too free for those guys to be able to run hard and put on a good show. So packed up, moved it down to Hickory Motor Speedway, and hopefully these guys are using this 10 minutes that they were given wisely to get the cars under them. We're seeing less wrecking now in practice, so hopefully we'll get the good show that we're used to.
By the way, I don't know if Charles can go in and make an adjustments on the YouTube broadcast feed, but it's hashtag fake news now, my friend, because we're not at Concord. We're now officially at Hickory. But with that being said, the show goes on, as they call it. What'd you say? Understanding from Chris Fortier, the track was way too slick. I'm sorry. Man up, you virtual iRacing people. I'm sorry. I really was I know. I was looking forward to Concord, man. I'm sorry. Just break my heart. Put the knife in while it's still warm. But if you can adjust the Hickory, change All-Star race for Hickory instead of Concord, probably be really good. Practice is over. I think we're going to qualifying. We're going to qualifying. Qualifying is underway now. So, Charles, did we find out anything about the format for the race? Will it kind of go back to what the 3 stages were going to be? Okay, so if they are, that's what they're doing. So basically, to let everyone know, and first they were supposed to go to Concord. So that's probably the first thing that somebody's saying, well, why are they not at Concord? Oh, my! Well, they decided to change Concord because the track was too slick and it wasn't good. We're watching Nick Dyer qualify in what is the Junior Josh Berry Junior Motorsports Throwback Bass Pro Shops Club 88. And this is qualifying, and they're wrecking each other in qualifying, Brockton.
Well, Wesley, we got to remember that Concord's about half the size of Hickory, and it's an open qualifying, so we would have had 17 cars trying to get a clean lap. So maybe this is the happier alternative now that I'm seeing it.
So let me explain this to everybody now that we are kind of officially kind of know where we're going and not where we've been. We are here at Hickory Motor Speedway. This is where the All-Star race will handle. There will not be an open. No open race, okay? We're just going to go straight in to our All-Star event. Now, with that being said, there will be a format that will be kind of in place to set the stage for how we will do things. There will be caution laps are not supposed to count. If that's the case, it'll be 75 green flag laps. Stage 1 will be, or segment 1, 30 laps. Now here's the kicker. If they follow the format, a caution is supposed to be thrown Brockton, and the top 5 in the back of the pack are to come immediately to the pit lane. Then we go another 30 laps. At the end of that stage or segment, stage 2, another 30 laps completed. Another 5 cars are supposed to exit off the racetrack. Then, as Charles just alluded to, there are still talks of a pit stop that has to be made. You have to stop in your pit box. You don't have to take on tires. You don't have to take on fuel. That's your discretion if you choose to. But for the 15-lap segment, you have to make a pit stop, Brockton Packard, and it will be the 10 best of the Maine Sim Racing Series to final it out for the All-Star race here tonight at Hickory.
Yeah, and what that does, what that formula does is, wow, our pole sitter, PJ Merrill, goes for a heck of a ride. What that system does is forces these guys to race all out throughout the whole night. We're not running like we were a couple weeks ago where I was able to kind of sit back and take my time and get through the race. You've got to go for the lead every lap, and that's going to cause these guys to be beating and banging, sliding, slipping, smashing, crashing, and whatever alternative adjectives you want to say. It's going to force them to race as hard as they possibly can, Leslie.
Well, right now, as we mentioned, it is all coming down to this practice session. They will get to qualify, and we'll get ready to go racing here. We're glad you're along for the ride. This is the Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Race. It's their All-Star night now. Was supposed to have been in Concord, but out the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway. iRacing on LSRTV. I'm Wesley Outland, Brockton Packard alongside Charles Wooten is working on the production behind the scenes and chiming in with breaking news. As we see Tyler Conley on the pit lane, there's Gleason Smith in the 5. We'll see what he does in qualifying. Now remember, Brockton, Charles just hinted on it. At the end of qualifying, which is about to wrap up in less than a minute, the fast qualifier, which looks like it's going to be PJ Merrill in the 00 on back, will be asked, where do you want to start the race at? The further back you go, the more chance you have of pocketing money.
Yeah, and that's a gamble, and you know you have a fast car by itself, but do you know you can get through the field? And with how these guys are kind of slipping and sliding around, I don't know if I would elect to start all the way in the back. I might elect to start further back because I know I'd have a higher chance of getting through some of the wrecks or things like that, but that's going to be a very, very important question that PJ is going to have to ask himself.
Well, Merrill and Kurt and Dyer, Cookson, Barth, top 5 in qualifying. That's the way it is right now, and the determination will now come. Where do you want to start? Where is your position going to be for this race? There's a throwback to the Ben Rowe past ACT Super Late Model car, the Armor All number 4. That's Arthur Jordan. Unfortunately, I don't think he's able to finish his lap, and well, there it is, and that's the way qualifying will wrap up. We're getting ready to set them up for 75 laps in the Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Race presented by the American Canadian Tour. The rumble, the virtual big dogs begin to growl on the front straightaway behind the pace car. Just a matter of moments before we get ready to turn them loose here in stage number 1. Brockton, what's your thoughts? You've been in the cockpit before. You were in the All-Star race a few weeks ago, or the prelude, if you will, at New Smyrna. What's the mindset going on these virtual drivers ahead, getting ready for this iRacing All-Star race representing the best of the Maine Sim Racing Series?
Well, as you roll off and you kind of get settled back down in the seat behind the wheel, you've got to keep in mind that it's a long race. You can't get eliminated or damaged early. That's going to make you suffer all race long. So you've got to keep your head on straight. You got to keep your nose clean, and you can't let the drivers around you get the best of you. If you fall back early, that's all right. You've got plenty of time to let those tires come in, let them wear out a little bit. When they wear out, it's going to tighten up, and these guys are going to have a hard time if they've been pushing a lot. So you've got to keep calm and carry on.
The field is set. The question remains now, who will take the bait of going all the way to the rear for the money? There is bonus money on the line up for grabs for everybody that is willing to take the chance here at the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway to go for that money. We'll find out, as right now idling is because the reasoning being is they are determining by decision, one by one. Sean Kimball and the series directors of the Maine Sim Racing Series are asking them right now, Brockton, where do you want to start? What position do you want to be? Do you want to start on the pole and not have a chance at the money? Do you want to start at the rear? You got 75 laps. I would say go for it.
Well, I was just about to ask you what you would do. You haven't driven these cars before in iRacing. You haven't driven this track before, but you have watched races at this track with these cars, and you know these drivers a little bit better than I do. So you think PJ would take all the way through the back and get his way through the field? I think
I do.
I would probably want to put myself around 9th or 10th. That saves me a couple eliminations to see what my car is on a longer run, and then it sets me up nicely for that last 10-15 lap run where everyone has to come down pit road.
But let me defend this a little bit more. If you start at the rear, you're more than likely going to be in the snake's patch if you're mid-pack or you're up in the front, because that is where all the intense racing's going to be. I believe you're going to have to flip-flop the racing from the front to the back tonight, because you are going to be racing hard up in the front. You're in the back, you're kind of out of harm's way. The biggest thing you got to remember, and I'm saying this honestly, Brockton, you got to stay ahead of 5 cars. If you start in the rear, you got to at least be ahead of 5 cars. And let's be honest here, if you're actually starting 18th, you just got to be 3 cars ahead. You got to be in the top 15. You just can't be 3 cars behind. So if you take the challenge, if Merrill takes the challenge, he fires off 19th, correction, he climbs 4 spots. Or excuse me, Sean Kimball's not racing. I'm sorry, he's an official. I don't know why it says he's got him 17. But you get them 3 spots. You advance. You just need to make it into the second stage. Then you get back up there to make it in the top 10. Then when you make it to that 15-lap shootout, that's when you give it all you got. That's when you go for the mustard of the win.
It's solid. That's a solid way to look at it. I've always been a little bit conservative when it comes to the racing, and you got a good piece. I don't know if I would want to be around drivers that, no offense to them, or a little slower than me on just pure merit and speed. So I don't know. A pole position is a pole position, and he's got a lot of freedom and a huge decision to make.
He certainly does, and that is the conversation that is going on right now. By the way, just to let you know how this will all go down here, there is bonus money up for grabs. Let's tell you the segment for the All-Star race. 20 drivers are locked in, or less than 20 drivers. The race pays $30 to win, $20 for second, $10 for third, plus the starting position bonus money. Winner gets $3 per starting position. That means there is a chance for a $60 bonus on top of the race paying $30 to win, $90 to the winner. If he starts in the 20th position, second gets a $2 per position, third gets a $1 per position. Okay? The further backup started, the more money you will win here in this All-Star race. And right now, 75 laps, 3 segment stages. Stage 1, 30 laps. At the conclusion of segment 1, caution laps do not count. Or that's the plan. Hopefully it sticks to it. That caution laps do not count. At the end of stage 1, top 5 in the running order in the back are eliminated. They have to immediately come down to the pit lane. We'll drop the green. We'll go to stage 2. Another 30 laps. At the completion of lap 60, yellow flag will be thrown. Top 5 in the back are eliminated. That means 8 cars will be gone at the conclusion of stage number 3. The 10 drivers will then battle it out for the final 15-lap segment. Winner take all the money for the elimination. And remember, they have to make at least 1 pit stop But the pit stop, though, Brockton, doesn't mean tires and fuel and chassis and wedge unless you choose to. You just got to come to a complete stop in your box and speed away, kind of like the way NASCAR used to qualify at the Winston at Charlotte. And I'm understanding it is official, so I was correct. Drivers will be getting cut. But like I said, though, Brockton, this is like going into the pits, coming onto pit lane. And by the way, for green flag pit stop and a stop, you cannot be speeding. You can't be speeding on entrance. You can't be speeding on exit because you will get busted for the penalty. It's not just, Brockton, going to your pit stall and stopping perfectly in the box.
Yeah, and we're watching PJ hold down to the apron, so we'll see where he decides to pull.
Dyer to the bottom.
In.
Can that camera angle show anything better? Ben Burgess will now also fall back. Max Cookson looks like he's falling back.
As we're watching PJ, it looks like he's going to the back here, Wesley, so it looks like he took your advice.
He's going to take the challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's taking the challenge. Current in the 82 is going to be the pole sitter now.
That's right. So let's give you the starting lineup for stage number 1 of the Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Race. Dominique Curran is on the pole. Tyler Conley, row number 1. Row 2 will find Nathan Barth and Gleason Smith. Row 3, after the decision of taking the money, obviously it changes everything because Nick Dyer and obviously PJ Merrill on the front row. It now moves to row 3. Ben Burgess in 7. Chris Burgess in 47. Row number 4 will find Nick Dyer, Brockton, and Arthur Jordan in the 7 position in car number 4.
Yeah, row 5 is our ticker's going a little bit crazy. Row 5 is going to be Arthur Jordan and Max Cookson. Row 6 is going to be Stephen Allen and Brian Conover. Row 7 is going to be Matt Mingo and Tyler Jordan. Row 8 is going to be David Greenleaf and Chris Fortier. And then finally, rounding out the field is going to be our pole sitter PJ Merrill and Ed Connolly.
So again, as we mentioned, as the lights are going to be off for the pace car here in just a moment, 3 stages, first 30 laps, top 5 are eliminated. Again, 30 laps, stage 1. At the conclusion of stage 1, segment 1, 5 cars, actually 3, because 18 are starting, are going to be eliminated. 3 cars will pull off track. Then we go to stage 2. Stage 2, another 30 laps, segment 2 when it's over. Yellow throne, top 5 in the back are eliminated. Down to 10 cars, 15 laps for the money, for the bonus, the winner take all. And they're giving them a few more extra pace laps to set the stage for this event. We apologize for the track change. I was disappointed myself because I think the world of the Concord Motorsports Park. I know so many people have real racing stories, real racing moments of who, what, where, when you were there back in the day. And as I was too. And I was looking forward to running Concord. However, if the powers that be feel that Hickory is the better option, then we're going to do it at the birthplace of the NASCAR stars in the Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Race 2023. We are green flag in stage 1, and ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race. Here comes the virtual Thundering Herd on 2. Underway, stage 1, segment 1, and here comes the pack coming off of turn number 2, and yellow flag will come out over the speedway. We've got problems already. I believe it's going to be Treadwell's car, number 24, the DuPont colors of the Rainbow Virtual Warrior, Brian Treadwell, putting us under caution here in stage 1 near Brockton.
Yeah, and caution laps do not count as our ticker is going crazy. Let's take a look here. Into turn 1, is he going to have some help?
He's ready.
It's a little high.
For one.
And going high. And, oh, just gets a little bit of a tap by the 4 there of Arthur Jordan. Slides, almost saves it. Nothing too terrible on the damage side of things, just a little bit of a setback.
Just a little bit of a problem there. Should be able to get right back going. No harm, no foul. By the way, if everything goes back into position, it'll be Dominic Curran in the lead. We'll reset it. Merrill has already climbed to 14th. You hear me, right? He's in the spot that he needs to be right now. 3 laps in, Brockton, to advance to stage number 2.
Yeah, he's been able to get a pretty good start, and this first stage should, quote unquote, should be fairly easy for him. It's when we get back to that second stage where some of these guys are going to fight a little harder because they can see that they have an opportunity. He's got to keep that nose clean, though, and get through the field.
Welcome to iRacing on LSRTV and the All-Star Race for the Maine Sim Racing Series, presented by the American-Canadian Tour. This is stage 1. We skipped the Open. We are right into the All-Star Race. The 18 best being represented for the Maine Sim Racing Series of 2023. These are drivers that have had wins and or 2 top 5s of the season. And then the other drivers that was going to be attempting to make the Open. Well, the decision was just made. We're going to go ahead and let you run the All-Star Race as well. They're all All-Stars in our book. The lights are off for the pace car. As they hit the back straightaway, Brockton, we are ready to restart for the first time, and we go back to green flag here in stage 1 with 3 completed.
Yeah, these guys getting ready to let it rip. Already on the loud pedal, an early restart and a clear by a couple car lengths. Dominic Curran into 1 and 2.
Pace car coming onto the pit lane. Green flag back out here. 3 laps in, and 30 laps is where we need to be here in stage 1. And as we mentioned, caution laps do not count. And we got trouble on the front straightaway. They are wrecking. It looks like Treadwell. Oh my, Merrill is caught up in it. Greenleaf is involved. Some other cars caught up in it as well, like Conover. And we're under caution already.
Yeah, Wesley, I saw it coming off of turns 3 and 4. They were almost 4 wide coming off the corner, and one person just got a little bit loose and ran out of room, and all of them went around. But this is what I was talking about. He's got to be careful where he makes his moves, because now he starts all the way in the back.
Well, actually, Merrill hit the left rear of the 00, and Merrill hit the left rear of Greenleaf's car, and I hate to say this, but I think the 74 Auto Sales Ford is kind of at fault for that. Might have been a little too aggressive there, trying to get up to the front, as you mentioned.
Yeah, he pushed a little bit too hard, trying to get a little bit too much. He's got plenty of time to get there. We're on lap 5 of technically 30 for the first stage, so he's got time. He's just got to find his moves and make his moves. He's got a good enough car and he's fast enough to be able to go wherever he wants on the track, so he's got to be able to calm down and just get around some guys.
Brockton and myself will check in with you during the end of each stage to give our analysis and recap of the race. Right now, Dominic Curran is on in front as we go back to green flag here in stage number 1, 6 of 30. That's the magic number. Got to get to lap 30, and you got to be in the top 15 on track. Back to green as they roar off the corner out of turn 4. It is Curran the leader. Barth in second. Smith is third. And Merrill is already beginning to climb up the scoring pylon. Here comes Dyer also making a move on Tyler Conley and Burgess out of 4.
Yeah, these guys are scrapping for everything they get. The 24 in the background gets very loose on the front straightaway. He pulls it down to the apron to get out of the way. And, oh, another caution.
Treadwell, another bad night for the Rainbow Warrior as the 24 DuPont Chevrolet is involved in another tangle here. 8 laps in, stage number 1, trying to get to lap 30, and another caution.
I thought he got a little bit loose. This is gonna happen not into 3 and 4, but coming into 1 and 2, I believe.
Coming off the corner here.
Well,
right
there he goes.
Right at the flag stand, boy. He overshot the gap coming off of turn 4, and then he tries to save the car, and he did save the car. And attaboy to Brian Treadwell, but the damage was already done. They had already threw the caution.
Yeah, and I don't fault the race control for that. You never know what a car is going to do. It's better to just throw the caution, especially when you see that car snap back up the track. So, good call. Get them all back up to speed and kind of chilled out a little bit. But an amazing save by the 24.
Well, this should no doubt be a quick caution as Current, Barth are still up in the front. Smith, Cookson, row number 2. Conley in the top 5. Pace car coming onto the pit lane. They hit the loud pedal. Virtual. Hickory, the all-star race. We're back at it again in stage 1, and here it comes from the blimp view. Look at the drive Current got on the restart. Can he make it stick?
The line that Kurt's running right now, he's going very slow on that apex to get a good launch off the corner, which is catching a couple of these guys off their step a little bit. He's able to expand that lead and grow that lead back. But don't look now, Merle is now 1 spot away from the top 10, and he's got it right there. So Merle being about 7 or 8 positions, so he will be clear as long as he keeps his nose clean for a stage or 2.
Dominique Current now, the leader again in stage 1. We're about to come up on halfway in the first stage of this race. 30 laps. Top 5 are eliminated in the bottom. Right now, Current, Barth, Cookson, Smith right there with each other. We got another caution. Yellow out again. I believe it's Greenleaf in 58 with a problem this time. And yes, there he is. Coming around the corner with an issue. And he's got heavy damage on not only the left front, but more on the right front of the 58 car there, Proctor.
Yeah, that whole nose is pretty beat up. And look who's behind him. Somebody eager to get to the front. Let's see if that had anything to do with it. He's already used up that right front a little bit, so checking up in front of him. PJ just tags him a little bit coming off the corner.
And then our cameras caught him right here creeping around the corner, badly damaged on the car and able to pull away. So there is one fast repair in this race. And you got to think here. Do you try to save your tires, Brockton, for the entire 75-lap sprint? Or do you make that pit stop and take on tires and fuel? But remember, you still got to make that pit stop in stage 3.
Yeah, it's a very, very tough call. If I were on top of the box, I'd maybe come down for your left side tires now or in the next couple of laps to get one set done and then come down for the right sides for that last pit stop, so it's a quicker pit stop. But right now, I just want to get to that last stage because with less people on the track, should be less cautions and more green flag running, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, we're back underway on board with Gleason Smith from the rear of his car. Jordan trying to come after him. So is also Chris Burgess and more. Tied right down to the inside. Tyler Jordan, he'll clear by the machine. And all this going on now as we watch a little contact. Burgess now tries to throw the block on Jordan. And some more cars. Halfway home at stage 1, segment 1 of the All-Star race at Hickory.
Yeah, right now riding along in that number 5 car. Now watching the 5 of Gleason Smith, he had a decently eventful, I should say. Speaking of eventful,
Treadwell,
that 24 car
back straight away. Again, Treadwell involved, number 24. I don't know if there's a spin rule or a wreck rule for some of these cars, but boy, oh boy, he is not having a good night. Him and Greenleaf both. Here's a replay of what happened to Treadwell again. Brockton, what happened to the 24, you think?
Yeah, we're looking, and it's going to be tough to tell. He's got a lot more damage on the car, especially on that right side. He knocked the toe out of it. It's not driving well. Oh, look out! 97, just an innocent bystander, and yeah, that's just trying to drive a damaged car a little bit too hard and smack into the wall and collect somebody who shouldn't have been collected.
Innocent bystander Brian Conover, as we just mentioned, the 97 machine. We'll try to continue here. So, we've completed 16 laps in stage number 1. Caution laps again do not count. So we'll go right back to it again here. Actually, the leader, Dominique Currick, Nick Dyer, Max Cookson, Tyler Jordan, Tyler Conley. And actually Nathan Barth is going to take the outside for the restart of 4 positions. As we quickly go to caution and we quickly get it cleared up and we go back to green in stage 1 here in the All-Star race. And they're back to it again in turn number 2. Currick got the jump on Barth on the inside.
Yeah, Currick got a beautiful restart, was able to slide up in front of Barth. Barth is a very good competitor, but speaking of competitor, here comes Cookson, your all-star race winner, Cookson. These guys have battled it out before, and holy cow, Wesley, I can tell you that's a battle you do not want to be in the middle of.
Max Cookson all the way from the tail as well. He has really climbed and moved his way up to second now. The 39, Max Cookson. Many wins this year in the Maine Sim Racing Series. And on All-Star Night, it's all about the money. No point. And he is trying to run down Current here in stage 1 with now 10 laps to go here at Hickory.
And just based on lap times alone, Max Cookson is the fastest car on the track. Just ran a 14.17 lap. So we'll see if he'll be able to get that pass done, Wesley. But right now it's super hard to pass. These drivers running a very tight line to the inside, and they're all running very smooth.
On board, Nathan Barth down to the inside. Here comes now Nick Dyer. Some smoke up in front of the pack as they clear off into 1 and 2. That now clears away. We move into under 5 laps to go as Barth just tagged the wall off the back straightaway. Dyer tries to reel him in one more time. They come to the line. Smoke is coming from the 12 of Corey Bubar's car. Nonetheless, the leaders go off the back straightaway.
Yeah, Dyer trying to get everything he can, but up for the lead as they fly by. I tell you what, Cookson is absolutely driving the wheels off of it as we got far almost around. That was the 5 of Gleason Smith, a great save by him. Looking up in the front still, it's still the 82 of Dominic Curritt, who has led every lap of the event thus far. But don't look now, Max Cookson reeling him in. And that,
by the way, I think
39 car.
I think I said Bubar's car. He's not here. It's Dominic Curritt's car. That was the gray car that had a plume of smoke. And right now, here comes Cookson, reeling him in, as my colleague Brockton just said, down to the inside, working to the end of these final laps in stage 1. Remember, it's all about positions. It's all about money. It's all about bonuses. Whole car. Merrill is up to 9th. The car in the bubble is Arthur Jordan in the 15th position, in the number 4. And we're coming to the line with 2 to go here in stage 1. White flag.
Yeah, don't look now, but here comes Cookson. Cookson has the nose on the inside. He's just got to get a good run off. He's not going to get there. Is he going to give him a little bit of a bump? He tries, but he's not going to get there.
Before they even got to the end of the stage, a caution flag was thrown. They did not complete stage 1, Brockton. They're going to have a 1-lap shootout to decide stage 1. There was a car spun at the bottom of the racetrack. They've not completed 30 laps yet.
Yeah, but they're all pitting. The top 2 are pitting. That might have been the stage caution.
You can pit if you want to, but they did not complete 30 laps. They've only completed 29.
I think they passed it just in time, so I think we are counting this as the stage caution.
Oh man, it feels like Daytona all over again.
Well, I think it was coming to lap 30, so they could, split it up a little more even.
They were coming out of turn 4. They took the white flag. So I guess they're going to say this is officially the end of stage number 1. So we got pit stops going on. By the way, if you want to bring us back inside the broadcast booth, Ben Burgess, Brian Conover, and unless something changes, I think Arthur Jordan are going to be packing up and head home. I think Chris Burgess got around Arthur Jordan before the official end of stage number 1. Entertaining stage 1. I still think we should have a one-lap shootout, Brockton, but I'm not the race director. I'm just a broadcast. But very fun stage 1, especially, man, Currett and Dominique Currett and Mr. Nathan Barth, they were really, really getting hot and heavy racing. Then all of a sudden, Max Cookson came in the picture, and that did a totally different song and dance as well.
Yeah, from the few races that I have been able to broadcast, and the one race that I was able to run with these guys, you never count Cookson out. Wherever he starts, he will always be a factor when there's a checkered flag involved. So I am going to pick him. I'm going to do a pick, and he's my pick. I know PJ had a fast car in qualifying, but Cookson always has a very fast and consistent car throughout the race. So I think he's going to be the one to watch for me.
So my question is this, as they're getting ready to settle up for the restart for stage number 2, what race do you think we'll see in the stage 2 as the green flag is out? They are not wasting no time, and Nick Dyer goes around to the Dyer. Dyer goes around. Dominique Curran, I think, might have got collected in as well. Is out, and we go to the beginning of stage number 2 here at Hickory.
Yeah, Wesley, you were asking what kind of race we were going to see. I think that answers your question. It's going to be a very physical and aggressive race to the finish. These guys are going to do everything they can to be in the best position for that mandatory pit stop at the end of stage 2. Let's take a look here. It's off the restart. Barth gets a great
Did Dyer
restart.
Not get fired? Oh, no, Jordan just tagged.
Oh, he got a bump.
Man, and he didn't really hit him that hard. I mean, Tyler Jordan just gave him a little nudge, and we got more cars scattered and littered on the back straightaway going to turn 3. And then that finally became organized or got back rolling again.
Yeah, I tell you, Dyer got very lucky not to hit the rear end of that car on the wall. He was about a couple inches, maybe 2 or 3 inches from really messing up that rear end. So great bit of car control, but now different looking front row, a new leader. Barth hasn't led any laps. Now he's leading a couple laps here. We've got Tyler Jordan on the front row. Then we've got Tyler Connolly and Gleason Smith. Those guys are up 11 positions. So these guys are going to be fighting for everything they can.
By the way, don't forget to join us for what is the Press Box Motorsports podcast. Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And now correction, now Saturday. You better fix your little, everything's all need to fix your ticker. It says Sunday, not Saturday. Saturday. Whatever it is.
Well,
here we go.
big action on the track.
Driving to the front. Look at this 0-0. He's coming to the front now. This is when I think you really need to do it, though, Brockton.
Yeah, and take a look at who's in front of him. You've got Currett and Cookson right in front of him. Currett gets a huge hit check from the 1111. That's Connolly, and PJ moves him up the track. Connolly hits PJ. We're going for everything we can, Wesley, and kick it off.
Caution not out, by the way, after what just happened on track. They still hold it together. No yellow flag. Barth is the leader, by the way. Jordan, Conley in first and second. That's the way it stands on track right now. They work out of 4. Back straightaway. Barth, the leader now, the 37. Look at Greenleaf battling Allen to his inside, trying to clear Gleason Smith off the corner. We worked 36 laps now in stage 2. Got to get to lap 60.
And here comes Dyer down to the inside, trying to take it 3 wide. Thought better of it. Gleason goes way wide. His car is just screaming for help at this point. Ed Connolly all the way on the inside on the apron. This battle for the transfer positions is going wild right now, Wesley.
This is for 9th and 10th. This is for Ed Conley, Stephen Allen, Nick Dyer, by the way, trying to find his way back into the top 10. 10 is the number. You're eliminated if you're in the back. As right now, Brian Treadwell, Arthur Jordan, and Brian Conover, Ben Burgess are out of it. Down to the final 15 on track. Chris Fortier, Gleason Smith, Stephen Allen, Chris Burgess on the bubble. They're fighting all they can to get in. And we're watching this going on now, but 20 to go in stage number 2. Oh, contact! Conley goes around. Got into Allen. Conley into Allen. You knew it was going to break loose coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, those guys have been battling so hard. It was only a matter of time until something broke loose, and it just happened to be the rear end of Ed Connolly's car. That 111 looking a little bit worse for wear.
Here's a replay. There's Cookson. We're watching now this race going on. This is in the bubble spot. As Brockton said, it was getting fast and furious and intense. They were thinking about going 3 and 4 wide a couple of times, and then finally someone made one little slip, and you're seeing a couple of laps before it happened, Brockton, and then it all just broke loose here coming out the back stretch going to 3.
Yeah, and Ed's car obviously was not handling well. He was on the apron just about every lap trying to break it loose and get it to turn better than it was. We can see the damage on the right and left side respectively, knocking the toe out of it a little bit. It's going to happen this next lap here coming into turn 1 and 2. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got a little bit of help by possibly the 47 or maybe even the 75. As look out, here he goes. Just a little bit of help
Allen
from the 75.
And in doing so, they said clear a path on the inside, and these other drivers took advantage of clearing them. By the way, top 10 transfer in to the final stage. Stage number 1. What a wild one that was. Now we see how stage 2 will turn out now with Nathan Barth and Max Cookson. Merrill, the pole car, has climbed all the way to 3rd. Current Greenleaf, top 5. We're back in the green at Hickory. 20 laps to go here, by the way, in stage 2 as they work the back straightaway. Brockton Packard battle for the lead to the inside. Cookson's there to the bottom.
Yeah, Wesley, I was just about to say, look who our top 4 is. It's like every other race. The 4 fastest drivers battling it out. We got Cookson, Barth, Merle, and Current all going for one spot.
Caution.
A couple drivers did pit, and let me take you through that real quick as we have a break in the action. Gleason Smith goes around. He was also one of the drivers that pit the last time. Of course, Conley came down pit road, and Tyler Jordan came down pit road on lap 41. Let's take a look here. Take a look at that bright orange number 5 car, Wesley, as we're coming out of the restart.
I call him the Sun-Kissed Kid. This is on the restart, right behind the 31 Tyler Conley. Allen alongside, so is Ed Conley. Ed Conley just, I think, got a little too aggressive, trying to get back to the front after being the part of the recent caution, and just gave a little shot to the Country Kitchen 5. He says it looks like the Little Caesars pizza car. Pizza. It's my nickname. Leave me alone. No, that's $5 footlong.
Well,
we'll set them up for the restart here.
When we started this event, I said you got to keep calm. And some of these drivers are finding that a little more challenging than they should, I think.
Sure. And we're not done yet. There's 18 laps to go in stage number 2 here for the race. Remember, 5 cars are going to be eliminated again, joining the drivers of the 4 that are already out of Burgess, Conover, Jordan, and Treadwell. Right now.
And we've got
Allen, 48, Chris, Smith, and Conley are going to go home, and then these 10 drivers are going to duke it out for the 15-lap shootout.
And it's the masters of the restart zone.
Boy, he got it. He spun the tires. Barr spun the tires, and Cookson capitalized on it. He'll send it off into turn number 1.
Oh, there goes PJ.
Merrill double zero. Jordan gets airborne. Allen wreck. Caution out. Jordan and Merrill and all those cars pulling away. Ed Conley. Yellow flies. My. Oh, boy. I'll tell you what, Brockman. That just wadded up a lot of good contenders, especially the third-place car, Merrill. And I really think it started when Barr spun the tires on the restart. He didn't fire.
Yeah, and that was a tough situation. Oh, the 29 just gets hip-checked into the wall, and ooh, good wreck avoidance there by the triple one.
Another multi-car pile up there. Wow.
Yeah, that one was a big one, and I'd have to agree with you. And Barth just didn't get a great restart, spun his tires, and that checked up that whole outside lane. And when these drivers smell blood in the water, they go for it. So it's not surprising that a chaotic start like that happens because of a restart box miscue, I should say.
You said blood in the water. I think of here, kitty, 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 but now I say here, fishy, fishy, fishy. By the way, Barth spun the tires. How lucky was he in that 37 car on the outside? I know he stacked up the field behind him because that was a project of what just happened, a product of what happened to Merrill and company, but he can't make that mistake again, right?
No, he's got to make sure he nails this restart, but he has the oldest tires on the field. Cookson has newer tires. He pitted at the end of stage 1, so we'll see coming to the restart if he can kind of learn from that. But these guys are some of the better restart takers that I have seen in this series. I know I started alongside Barth a couple times and I got caught napping every time, so you have to be on your toes and prepared every time the green flag drops.
It is 16 laps to go here in stage number 2. We're going to lap 60. 5 in the back are eliminated in the final 10. We'll battle it out here for the Maine Sim Race Series All-Star Night presented by the American Canadian Tour. We are back to green at Hickory, and they go push each other up the track. Curran gets by Barth. Barth will duck to the inside behind him. Single file. Cookson leads off turn 4 on the restart.
Yeah, these are the 2 fastest drivers with some of the newer tires as well. As we're looking at Dyer, who just a couple cautions ago, Wesley, was up against the outside wall after getting spun from second. Now he's fighting for 4th.
Finally, just past halfway in stage 2. We're going to lap 60. 13 laps remain now. Look at Merrill fighting and clawing his way back into the field. He's now up to 9th. He's now in the snake's patch, if you will, as the great Mr. Excitement Jimmy Spencer would say. This is where the storm's brewing, where you really didn't want to be right now. Oh!
He got pushed wide a little bit by that 11 of Chris Fortier. Chris is just hanging on for dear life, trying to keep at least one of those spots. He's got to keep the 47 behind him to stay alive. And I tell you what, they are battling for absolutely every inch, Wesley, and he dives it in on the racetrack. And no, PJ goes around again.
Crash, back straight away. Smith is turned. Somehow Conley missed. Fortier got by. Merrill is crunched. Caution out again with 10 to go in stage 2. Here's your replay. Wow. Aggressive driving at its finest. You heard me say it. He's in the snake's patch. This is where the storm's brewing. He just wanted to be a product of the category, and it all broke loose here battling Allen Brockton.
Yeah, and he got a lot of damage from that. We're going to see him coming into turn 1 and 2. It's going to happen right here. 75, just a little bit wide, but he also, I don't know, that's a hard one. It looks like he comes down just a little bit, but that's a lot of damage to the front and left side of that 74 Auto Sales 00.
Do you say that that's the price you pay for starting shotgun in the rear for PJ Merrill, Brockton, or is that just a product of the All-Star race and the environment it is? Because for the most part, he was kind of having a really good run until the start of stage 2.
You know, I think it's just a product of the race. I think not having your faster pair to this point is a product of taking that gamble and starting in the back. He's already had to take that faster pair. But the situation he's in now, the fact that he's in pit road now, is just a product of the racing. He was up front, he had the speed, he had the opportunity, just happened to get wrecked in the front and tried a little bit too hard to get up front.
Now, Brockton, because this is the All-Star race, they do have the option and the benefit of having a fast repair. Sometimes on the regular races, they don't have that. How lucky are you to be able to have that to try to get back in the game?
Yeah, and that's a huge part of it, to be able to keep your race alive. However, as PJ is still in pit road, he's been in pit road for just over a minute and a half, so I think he's already used that. So he's going to have to make sure that everything that needs to be fixed on that race car is fixed, but he's undoubtedly going to be a couple laps down.
11 laps to go now in stage number 2. And the points man, the pole car of Merrill, might be out of it here as the green flag is back out. They keep wrecking. We're going to be less than 10 cars remaining here for the finale at stage number 3. And they're wrecking again. Conley into Jordan. Jordan gets turned. Now Conley spins. Caution out as we go back to green. Caution again on the restart. Oh me, oh my. And again, I'm just saying, Brockton, that's in the back. That's fighting for that 10th position. All bets are off with under 10 to go, I believe, to get there.
Yeah, these guys are fighting for everything they can. Ed has not had the best race and the best luck so far. They're 3 wide. It looks like 29. Tyler Jordan sends Greenleaf up a little bit and leaves the door open for Conley and gets them both sent around. And I tell you what, Wesley, it is a battle for 2 positions at this point because Gleason,
maybe 3.
Gleason and Merle are both in pit road, and they have been in pit road for 3 and some change minutes. So they're a lap down. Jordan just went down pit road. He's been in there for quite a while. So it's just a battle for 1 position now. So it's anybody's game in the back, and it could be won or lost. But we've still got 10 laps before we get there. So they just got to get to the end, and you never know. Somebody might wreck.
We still got 11 laps. Yeah, 10 laps to go. And by the way, that was a product of fighting for that 10th spot between Conley and Jordan. And we go back to green again here in the All-Star race. We're about 2/3 of the way through, about to wrap up stage number 2, under 10 remaining now. Lap 60, 61, we throw a caution, we battle for a 15-lap shootout. And now, Conley, there's the man of the bubble, trying to fight in his Greenleaf. Jordan is behind the wall. Smith, Merrill, this is 1 car fighting it out. Here comes 48 to the outside.
Yeah, we're going to see what drivers are willing to do to make sure they can be in the final show. You got to make sure you have a car for the final show. Jordan is a lap down, so it's very unlikely he'll be able to get back around. As we got a caution, is the 59.
Mingo's car up into the fence out of turn 4. Caution out again now with about 6 to go in stage 2. This is Matt Mingo. Behind him was the 31 of Tyler Conley. They were actually fighting for the top 5 when all this happened here, Brockton.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about Mingo very often, or very much tonight, and that's not a bad thing how this race has gone. Running his own race, doing a pretty good job, and we're going to see the 31 just gets a little too ambitious and, almost saved it, but hard impact for the nose of that 59 car.
Under caution again. Wow. My, oh my, oh my. Okay. product of the racing, the environment we're in. Without a doubt, this has been exciting and fun. He's Brockton Packard. I'm Wesley Outland, the man behind the scenes, punching the buttons for the 10th season of iRacing on LSRTV, and Rocket Racing Media is Charles Wooten, along with Jeff Stabnow. This is the All-Star Night for the Maine Sim Racing Series, presented by American Canadian Tour. No points, fun, aggressiveness, racing, no holds barred, all about the money, Brockton. I'd wreck my mama to win if I could be in this race tonight.
Oh boy,
well,
if I wrecked my mama, I might have something to answer to.
Mama.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
come after me
I don't
with
know
one
if
of
that
them
would
damn
go
cooking,
over too well.
I hear people all the time. I'd wreck my mama. I'd do that. Highway patrol. I'll pull my mama over, give her a ticket. Yeah, right. She'll whip you with one of them cooking. What do you call those things? I can't even think right now. We're back to green. Stage 2. Yeah, a rolling pin.
All right, Wesley, just
20 to go in the
laps.
race. Oh, going around.
Oh, what a save!
He saved it.
What a save!
I know it says we're under 20 to go. That's for the entire total of the race. We're just trying to get to the end of stage 2, which will be lap 60, which is 4 to go now, 3 to go at the line. There's that battle. Conley has got it. Mingo, though. Brockton trying to fight back in it again. He's to the inside.
Yeah, Mingo has had a faster car, but that front end damage is not going to make things easy for him. He's going to have to find a way around the 111. He turns him!
He turned him! He turned him on the back straightaway. He hooked him in the fence. Mingo just put Conley in the wall head on. This won't go over well. Oh, wow. Brockton, can you call it any other way? I mean, Mingo just punted Conley into the fence head on. Look at the replay
I've got to see the replay. I've got to see the replay. But I do know that's somebody you don't want to mess with. That 111 is not somebody you want to really mess with. And there's some netcode there.
You know, you're exactly right. I'm not a fan of that word. And our producers normally tell us not to say that word, but there definitely was something there. Ed Conley, hold your composure. I don't think that he meant to do that intentionally.
Yeah, I'll say that they were definitely close coming off of turn 1 and 2, and their lines were eventually going to hit, but I don't think it was on purpose. And the word is there was something there, but there wasn't anything there, and that was the issue. So,
well,
yeah, I don't think that was malicious. Hopefully.
I don't think it was either. By the way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to, we got a lot of new viewers tonight. Hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying our content of iRacing on LSR TV. We've got a full season ahead, Brockton. It's right back to work, man. We got qualifying in the duels. Monday night, the Northwest Racing Series in Season 10. The trucks are now moving from Wednesday or Thursday night now to Monday night. Xfinity Series. There's going to be a dirt series for big block modifieds in the summer. There's going to be a road course series. And then they come back for a second season of a split for Wednesday night with the Xfinity cars. I'm looking forward to that. There is a Northwest Racing Series, dirt, super late model series that is going to be on Thursday nights. And, of course, a whole bunch more. And the Maine Sim Racing Series run to a title before their race season kicked off. We're back to green. It is a one-lap shootout here in stage number 2. Cookston trying to win here in stage 2. Current right behind him. They come to the line. They will take a caution flag as they're almost wrecking behind them. This is for the transfer spot.
Oh.
Mingo got in. Mingo just bumped him. Conley, I think, might just got in as well. Oh, my, the scoring pylon's cattywampus.
Yeah, that was a
Conley
heck of a finish. That was crazy.
Oh my. How do you sort this out? Holy cow, they're wrecking over there. Nick Dyer and Greenleaf. What in the world?
Can we ask?
You know what? I think they're Brockton. I think they're fighting over who got 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that the admin have that timing scoring down pretty good. I want to see a replay of the last lap from the back half of the field, because Ed Connolly is like 7th, and he was dead last. And whoa, 00 goes around.
I think some of these guys are wrecking because they know their race is over and they're being told to exit immediately off the racetrack. It looks like Ed Connolly might have got the final transfer spot. Matt Mingo is going to miss it. I don't think Matt Mingo made it. I really don't. I think Matt Mingo missed the spot. We got to check in. We got to check in with our timing and scoring. I believe so. I think it's just become made official. Matt Mingo, Dominique Currett,
Well, let's see.
PJ Merrill, and some other cars. I think they're out. I think they're out, Brockton. I think he's out. I don't think Matt Mingo can make it in. I think Ed Conley fought and got his spot back.
Yeah, I don't know. Coming across the line, it was a lot of cars going just about every other direction except straight. So, I mean, we've just got to wait and see. One thing that is for certain, Max Cookson won that stage. That one is definitely set in stone. We know that. Mingo down pit road, Gleason Smith down pit road, PJ Merle we already know, and then Brian Treadwell. Excuse me, Brian was already out.
Yeah, the question right now is between Ed Conley and Matt Mingo and that final transfer spot, but I really believe that Matt Mingo did not make it in. I think he missed it by one spot right now as timing and scoring officially updates. It has Max Cookson, Nick Dyer, Nathan Barth, Stephen Allen, Chris Fortier, the top 5, David Greenleaf, Tyler Conley, Tyler Jordan, and Ed Conley. Unofficially your top 10. Here comes the pit stop. But this is not officially the pit stop. Oh, yes, it is. Here's your pit stop.
Yep,
you saw what Max Cookson just did. He said, hey, man, I'm coming in. I'm going to my pit ball stop. I'm going to stop. Now, remember, you could do this under caution or you could do it during green flag conditions. I think probably the smart thing to do is to make the pit stop under caution, Brockton.
Yeah, these drivers had a mandatory stop and go at least under this caution. You had to come down and stop in your pit box and then go. Cookson already had taken tires about 30 laps before, so he's got his tires on. He's got what he's got. So we'll see what he's able to do with that. Another guy, it looks like Jordan just stopped. Stephen Allen.
Tyler Jordan
looks
did.
like took. Yeah, Tyler Jordan just stopped. I'm looking at their pit stop times to see, you know, if they took tires or not. It looks like the first guy with tires is going to be Nathan Barth and Nick Dyer. Both have about 11.5-second pit stops, so I think that's roughly maybe 2, maybe 4 tires. So those guys will be the quote-unquote fastest guys on track. So we'll be able to see the difference between 30-lap-old tires and brand-new tires, but we already knew that, Wesley, and that is how the 39 is where he is.
So Max Cookson, as we go back inside the broadcast booth here to set you in for this final stage, Max Cookson gets it done in stage number 2. As we settle up for this third stage, for the finish of this race, Brockton, what in the world are we going to see? Cut the distance in half, 15 laps. I think the racing's going to be wild, though, but we're only down to 10 cars.
Yeah, 10 cars, 15 laps. I don't think the aggression is going to let up at all. These guys, the money is now in sight. You can't just play it safe, get to the end. You've got what you've got. You've wrecked, you've raced, you've done whatever you could do to get to this point. You have to put everything on the table and get to the end here, and get to the end as fast as you can. These guys that took tires, your Nathan Barths in the 37, he starts 8th. Nick Dyer in the 88, he starts 9th. They're going to have to get up through that field with older tires, with the slippery guys going around all over the place. You don't have time to let anybody in. You have to go as hard as you can, so it's going to be wild, Wesley.
By the way, time and scoring has officially updated. Matt Mingo is out. As it shows now, Max Cookson, Tyler Jordan on the front row, Stephen Allen, Dominic Currett, row 2, Tyler Connolly, David Greenleaf, row 3, Nathan Barth, Nick Dyer, and Chris Fortier. Those are your 10 drivers that have advanced to the final segment here of the 2023 Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Night, presented by American Canadian Tour. Drivers like Ed Conley, Chris Burgess, Gleason Smith, PJ Merrill, the pole car, Brian Treadwell, Arthur Jordan, Brian Conover, and Ben Burgess. Thank you for attending. However, your night is ended. I think I said on Ed Conley by accident. Didn't mean to. I meant to say Matt Mingo.
Yeah, it's going to be a 15-lap shootout, Wesley. This is going to be, this is what we've all been waiting for. That first little run, that was fun and all. But yes, this is the big one. And we've already had some big stories. Our pole sitter who took the gamble out of the race. We've got some guys that have been proven fast and some guys that haven't been able to prove themselves yet. So we'll be able to see what they're able to do coming in the green.
Green flag, we're going to fire him up and we go to green in the final stage of the Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Race in Hickory. Good pull away by Max Cookson. Clears away by 2 or 3 car lengths. Current right behind it. Meanwhile, they're bumping in the back. There goes the 31. Almost a punt from Barth. They're 3 wide, 4 wide. Contact. Greenleaf goes and spin. He saves it off the corner. But the caution's out.
Dyer's around.
Goes around in 88 and 4. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. That was a product of great racing. 3 wide. He got him loose. He let him correct. And then everybody else kind of got on the binders behind to check up there, Brockton.
Yeah, that was a heck of a save by Greenleaf. We're going to see the 31 of Tyler Connolly get a little bit loose off the corner. Got a little bit of help by Barth. That's going to set him up for 3 wide. That doesn't work here. Greenleaf cuts the nose off the 31, saves it somehow. Oh, 2 hits. Dyer, the double 8 got quintuple one there, I guess.
Can you say set him up, Joe? Oh, my. 1 lap in, 14 to go. By the way, the official scoring ticker up on the top left of our iRacing on LSRTV monitor is the official amount of laps that remain. 15 laps, half the distance of the first 2 stages or segments. Cautions, laps do not count. And I think the fireworks are just beginning. How about Tyler Jordan? Remember, he was airborne earlier in the race. Damaged, beaten, battered, banged, bandaged, and he's still in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, Tyler Jordan invented the Ford Motor Company space program, and then now he's up in second. So yeah, I think that's a pretty successful night thus far. I know he's going to want to get past the 39, but man, from racing with Max, it's a tough ask to get past him. So he's got to hang tight on that outside and not let him have the room that he wants. But so far, so good for that 29 Tide Pod NOS Energy Drink Ford Mustang.
Now settling them up here for restart as they're getting now 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2, 5 rows deep. Ready for a restart. Lights off for the pace car. The Ford Fusion will make his way to the pit lane. 14 to go here in the All-Star race at Hickory. Should have been at Concord. They moved it to Hickory. It is not disappointed. We are back underway in the final segment for the money. Battle for second. Battle for third and fourth and fifth off the corner. This is on board with Jordan. Current to the inside as they fight the sun on the front stretch going to 1.
Yeah, and that's what Jordan needed. He needed to get down on that inside, feel what the car's doing, and we got a wreck in the back.
Caution out. Chris Fortier is up in the fence, the number 11 car. Barth, I think might have also got collected in it.
And maybe Greenleaf as well, I'm not sure. But Ed Connolly on pit road, has been on pit road for 2 minutes now. I think his night is over.
Here's your replay. Chris Fortier, the Canadian in the 11. He's right there in front. In his view was Barth and Greenleaf. Allen, Dyer.
Look out!
There you go! Barth put Fortier in the fence and got into Greenleaf. Greenleaf was able to keep on going. Another multi-car that happened going into turn number 1. We're under caution again. Wow.
Yeah, and this is where those fresh tires, they're still cold in the general sense as tires go. So Barth and Dyer both struggling a little bit with the looseness of their cars, and some of these other guys that don't have as fresh of tires, somebody with 10 or 15, maybe even 20 laps on those tires, they are a little tighter on corner entry and exit, so we're seeing a lot of different tire wears come together, and that's what's causing some of these wrecks. But that last time just ran out of room.
Max Cookson out in front again, the number 39. Dominique Currett, Tyler Jordan, Tyler Conley, Nick Dyer, top 5. The run for the money in the All-Star race. Trying to finish it up here with 13 to go here in stage number 3. No doubt about it, though, Brockton, this race has not disappointed. It's been a fun one.
Absolutely. They've done a wonderful job with this event. The short notice switch of tracks, they've done a great job adapting to it. I know we would have liked to see the Concord Motorsports Park, but I have to say this is turning out to be a spectacular race.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good substitute. Just saying. Maybe we can try to do Concord another time. Here they go.
It's a good substitute.
Restart back at it again with 12 to go here at Hickory in the All-Star race. Now making 11 to go. Cookson on the jump. Current right behind him. So is Jordan. They're 1, 2, and 3. Dyer tries to settle in line. He had some bad luck in this race. And somehow or another, those cars right there in the top 5, along with Conley as they work the back straightaway. 10 to go here at Hickory.
And Dyer right now in the best position, and all he's got to do is get past the 29 of Tyler Jordan, and he'll have the freshest tires in the top 3. But catching somebody's one thing, passing them's another. He's going to look to the outside, now trying to cross over under that 29. The 29 parks it on the exit. Oh, and gets very loose. It's going to be a tight one off of 2.
8 to go. Inside Dyer, trying to get behind Jordan. Had the block go on him. And here comes now Current right behind him. This is another contact made. That's Dyer. Dyer and Jordan getting a little aggressive. And that's Conley, by the way. I think I said Current. Current is trying to get to Cookson's back door. Half a second back. 7 to go. 6 to go at the line. They are flying by as they make contact again. Dyer pushed up the track.
I tell you what, Wesley, patience is growing thin. That bow tie on the front of that Chevy Camaro Bass Pro Shops machine is going to get used up instantly, and I have a feeling it's going to be soon.
Somehow, some way, he's trying to get to him. Jordan 5, now make it 4 to go when they come to the line. Jordan in that 3rd spot. Dyer right behind him. Conley will follow. He's looking on. 4 to go in the All-Star race. Does he make a bump and run?
Oh,
and we got a caution. I believe this is Greenleaf. It is.
Oh, where is he? He's in the infield.
He's wrecked in the entrance of the pit lane, and then he tried to enter in the pits. And now he's back on track. Him and Tyler Conley. Barth, replay. Look at this. So we got a 3-lap shootout when we go to green here at Hickory.
I tell you what, Barth was beating the heck out of his rear bumper, so I'm not surprised he got used up a little bit coming off of turn 3 and 4. Oh my!
Oh no!
Oh!
Well, that explains why he was stuck trying to enter the pit lane. that will do it.
Yeah, that's something you don't see every day.
We need to go on board. Can we go extended replay? Let's go on board with Greenleaf. Lights are still on the pace car.
Lights are still on the pace car.
Are they going back to a quickie yellow? Oh.
Lights are still on.
No! Let's see the replay. Let's go on board with Greenleaf. Flipping through the air on board. Come on, Charles. Give us what we want. On board, on board, on board, on board. Don't make me beg. Watch this. This is on board with David Greenleaf.
I guess we don't.
We're not. Charles, come on, man. All that training you've had.
Maybe we'll see it next time. Maybe.
Don't make me beg. All right. Well, you saw what happened. Here we go. 3-lap shootout. Oh, look at this.
Here it comes. Hey.
Oh, wow.
And tires.
We're back to green and Hickory. And we're back to it again for the shootout. 3 laps to go. Hurry up the track.
Sideways already.
And we're back under caution. And it's not because of Greenleaf flipping. He's still in the damn race. How can the 58
He's still
car?
in the race.
Oh my goodness. How is that car that looks like it's been in flipper? Look out, freewheeling. He's back in the race again. The 58.
Those tire barriers.
Looks like he's driving cattywampus. Look at how the tire is more bowed out on the right side than the left. And he's still on track. I love it.
Tire walls save lives, Wesley. Tire walls save lives.
Yes, so do dolphins. You killed Flipper. 3 to go. Oh wow, you realize we haven't worked with each other in 2 weeks? Like we've not done nothing.
It's been a while. I will say, Wesley, and the heartbeat and the anxiety is the same as the last time we worked together. But I'm not as sweaty as I was last time.
Yeah, you're not as sweaty. I was gonna say you were in the cockpit
not
last
working
time.
as hard.
Every time we went on camera, we had to like have a producer come and rub your head with a towel, you know. Get him ready. We need the lights perfectly. All right, here we go. Could this be the final restart for the All-Star race for the Maine Sim Racing Series? Back under green and current jump. Got tires wrecked. Dyer just got wrecked. He kept going, not wrecking in front of him. And they save it. Jordan just got punted. Now we got Conley, Allen, Conley, Barth going at it. 2 to go here at Hickory.
Yeah, Currett is right on the back bumper of Cookson, though, about 3/10, a little bit further than he probably wants to be. These guys are on equal tires, however.
This is it. White flag.
Trying to do everything he can.
Last time, the back straightaway, right before the sunset in virtual Hickory. Hey now, Max Cookson, you're a virtual Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star. As he spins the car in the cool-down lap, Max Cookson wins the All-Star race, presented by the American Canadian Tour here at Hickory tonight, in a race that did not disappoint. Dominique Curry tried everything he could, ran out of time. Tyler Jordan, beaten, battered, banged up, will still get a podium out of the deal. But for Max Cookson in the 39, who has been a dominator all season, Brockton Packard, he is the all-star of the birthplace of the virtual NASCAR stars at Hickory.
Yeah, and that's 2 in a row for him. A couple weeks ago, he won the prelude to the All-Star and now brings home the entire shebang with the All-Star race at Hickory. An amazing run by Max Cookson.
Here is your results. At the end of the event, Max Cookson, the winner. Dominique Currett, second. Tyler Jordan and Tyler Conley going third and fourth. Nathan Barth is fifth. David Greenleaf, seventh. Chris Fortier, eighth. Nick Dyer, Ed Conley, the final drivers, 9 to the finish at the end of the third stage.
And rounding out your field here, Chris Burgers in P11. Matt Mingo unfortunately did not make it out of that second stage. He'll come home 12th. 13th is going to be the 5 of Gleason Smith. Our pole sitter, PJ Merrill, did not make it out of the second stage. He comes home 14th. 15th, Arthur Jordan. 16th, Brian Treadwell. 17th is going to be Ryan Conover. And 18th is going to be Ben Burgess.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to step away and go to commercial to get all of our drivers lined up because we haven't been on commercial since we came on the air. We hope you enjoyed the free coverage of what is the All-Star Race presented by the American Canadian Tour. It was a good one. And by the way, shameless plug, you can make that trip up to that concrete pavement hill into the virtual track that you're watching now to Life in the Fast Lane at Hickory Motor Speedway. Their season fires up next Saturday at Hickory Motor Speedway. And if you can't ever make a trip out there to the birthplace of NASCAR stars, make a trip to that racetrack. If you saw virtually was exciting, see it in person at a real event. It is not a disappointment. You definitely will enjoy the time at Hickory Motor Speedway. Coming up, we grab the top 3. Max Cookson, back-to-back year, the All-Star champion of the Maine Sim Racing Series here. iRacing on LSRTV returns from Hickory in a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here comes Abier on the bottom 3 wide Welcome back to the virtual Hickory Motor Speedway, the birthplace of NASCAR stars, the alternate from Concord, the 2023 Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Race presented by American Canadian Tour did not disappoint. Brockton Packard, Wesley Outland, Charles Wooten on production, Jeff Stabnow along the way, and we grab now our top 3 on the podium. By the way, thanks to Sean Kimball and the series for another phenomenal show. Tyler Jordan, beaten, battered, banged, riding the concrete, somehow back on 2 wheels to 4, and you finish on the podium at the end of the All-Star race. Your take of surviving this tonight?
It was definitely one hell of a race.
Well, Tyler, you come home third, a very, very solid night, plus 3 positions. Talk about the mandatory pit stop. Did you ever take tires? And if so, when did you take them, and how did it kind of shape your race throughout the night?
I took tires, I think, like halfway through the second segment. So my final pit stop, it was kind of just like a stop and go. Same thing Max did. I got picked up like 7 or 8 spots, so it paid off.
Tyler, what was it like on track fighting with all these guys on the speedway? Definitely had to have been exciting and fun.
It was definitely fun. I definitely had a way faster car the first 2 segments. I just got caught up in too many wrecks, too much damage there at the end.
Well, buddy, thank your sponsors.
Yeah, I got to thank Tide and NOS Energy.
I'm sure that you need a lot of NOS after the wild races we had tonight for sure. Number 29, Tyler Jordan will finish on the podium here. And honestly, that's got to be like a win for that driver after having a pretty bad start in the All-Star race, fighting his way to finish here in third. Runner-up, Dominique Currett, all night long up in the race, up near the battle, trying to decide the finish. You will settle for second. Your take of the Wild All-Star race of 2023 at Hickory.
Yeah, it was definitely eventful, you know. Definitely a lot of cautions. But I knew if I could stay on the same pit strategy as Max, I would be up here with him.
So Dominic had a great race all night long. Your last lap was the exact same lap time as Max's. What did you need to get around that, the 39 on that last few laps?
I just think I needed to save my tires after the pit stop. I definitely burnt them up coming back up through the field with them. If I could have saved tires, I think I could have stayed with them a little bit. I definitely couldn't get around them without using them up. But
if you had to go back and do it again, obviously there was a lot of bumping, banging, aggressive blocking, everything you could to win. But it's the All-Star race, Dominic, right? You're going to do everything you can to win this race. It's about bragging rights. It's about to try to go for the money. But if you could have done things differently to Cookson, or would you have done that? Or was he just that strong of a race car? You couldn't hang with him.
Cookson's always good whenever he shows up any track. So you got to race him hard to try and get by him, and he'll do the same thing to you. So, I mean, he's a clean racer. You always gotta rough somebody up to get by him. So, I don't think I could have done anything different to get around him. Maybe I could have tried to get a better restart on him, try to stay on the outside, but I'll settle for second.
Sponsors, buddy, and we'll see you next week for the next race.
First of all, I gotta thank Sean for putting this on. You guys for broadcast, ACT for sponsoring, RCAM Setup Shop, WC Greasy, and all my other sponsors.
Well, when it's all said and done, Dominique Currett will finish in the number 2 position. He was the Prelude winner. He is the All-Star race winner for the Maine Sim Racing Series All-Star Night, presented by the American Canadian Tour, which was supposed to have been at Concord, moved to Hickory at a last-moment management decision, but you get it done. Max Cookson, congratulations. Proudly representing the virtual Northeast, and another big win for you, the driver out of Pittsfield, Maine. Good job, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. It was definitely an interesting race with the format, and kind of think I picked a good strategy to pit earlier, and I knew 15 laps wasn't going to be a lot of time to make anything happen, so I figured I'd get my tires earlier and then leave myself enough time to get to the front, and figured if anyone got tires in that last stop, I could hold them off for the last 15.
Well, Max, you did exactly that. But let's take a little bit of a dive into your stats. You finished third 5 weeks ago at New Hampshire, and you have not let up since. You finished in the top 3 every time we have raced since New Hampshire. So talk about being able to keep that consistency and what you're looking for the rest of the season.
Yeah, obviously just try to keep winning the races, and Loudon I kind of let that one slip away, but just try to keep winning the races and keep having a good time on Wednesday nights. It's something fun to come do during the off season, and Don puts in a lot of hard work, and all you guys and all the great sponsors of the league, and let us guys go have a little fun in the winter. We all appreciate it a bunch.
Hey, Max, was you ever concerned or thinking about the bump and runs coming? He's going to push me out of the way. I know it's coming. If not from Current, from Barth or Merrill or anybody on the track. Obviously, it's no holds barred when it's the All-Star race, especially when there's no points on the line, right, my friend?
Yeah, I don't think it really matters who's behind you, but there's a restart with 3 to go. That's kind of a concern. But lucky I got a good one and got away by a car length or 2, and we were home free from there.
Did you realize that in the last 5 races of the series, including the 2 non-point races, you have finished on the podium? That's pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, I used to put a lot of hours into this, and back in the day, and luckily I've still been able to hold on to enough of that magic to keep it going.
Brockton, got another question for the winner?
No, but I'm becoming a little more scared for my job. He seems to be up here in the booth more than I am at this point.
Hey, well, listen, Max, congratulations, buddy. You are a real super late model racer. How's things looking for getting the car ready for the Northeast in 2023?
Yeah, we've got our car that we're planning on taking to Hickory, which is coming up on March 17th and 18th.
That's right.
That car is just about done, and then the car we're going to be building for Thompson Loudon, we're getting in the final stages of that car and getting ready for the body, and that car will be going to Thompson. So there's you're never ready to race. It's just time to race. I think that's the best way to put it, and soon enough it'll be time to race.
Yeah, man, no doubt about it. Of course, the season will be here before you know it, and Hickory Motor Speedway, kind of where we were tonight, will be also in a couple of weeks, where they'll have the American Canadian Tour and the Pass North and the Northeast mini stocks, and a lot of cool things. Hopefully I I'll try to make the trip up there to come and see if I don't have anything going on, man. Safe travels down to Hickory.
Yeah, thank you, and yeah, you ought to come. It should be a good time, 2 days of racing action, and we're looking real forward to it.
Max Cookson, winner tonight here out of Pittsfield, Maine, for the All-Star race presented by the American Canadian Tour. Thanks to Sean Kimball. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes, the drivers. They're all stars in my book. I wish we could have stayed at Concord, but obviously Hickory in closing, Brockton, was not a disappointment for the alternate. Your final closing thoughts as we wrap it up here, my friend.
Yeah, I thought it was a great and competitive race. We had some crashing earlier on, and just very close and hard racing overall. So I think even though it wasn't our Concord that we wanted or were hoping for, I feel like it was still a great race, a great event, and it makes me excited to be back for the rest of the season.
Next week, where are we heading to? I think we're back to the racetrack again. Next Wednesday, I think we're back on a regular schedule of the run towards a championship. Follow all that details and information, as always, from the Maine Sim Racing Series. And of course, as always, I believe we're going road course racing, if I remember correctly. Road course racing, no, correction, Stafford, my bad. Stafford Motor Speedway is coming up. Oxford, we're down to the final 3 events of the season. Big races on the horizon, as they're also getting fired again for the real season, as always. Follow us at LSRTV, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, at iRacing, at Maine Sim Racing Series on Facebook, and Rocket Racing Media as well. And give us a subscribe on YouTube as well if you enjoyed our coverage. The man behind the scenes was Charles Wooten, along with Jeff Stabnow. For Brockton Packard, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations again to Pittsfield, Maine driver Max Cookson, winner of the All-Stars of the Maine Sim Racing Series. It's on to Oxford next week.